Hello everybody and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this really fun square. It's called Puff Dog. We've got all these puffy bobbly stitches going on and yeah, it's really fun to work up actually. It's done in lots of different sections. So we do this square in the middle with the puff, then we do these 4 triangles, and then we do these bigger 4 triangles, and then we finish off with a border. It is all single crochets and the puff stitches or bobble stitches, so it does take a little while to make. So just allow yourself some time to make it, and you will probably want to make yourself a cup of tea, coffee, or get yourself something stronger because it is going to take a while. So just follow along with the video and pause and rewind when you need to, and have fun with it. Just enjoy and see how it goes. And I will tell you, this is a good chance to use up some of your little bits and bobs of yarn leftovers. This middle square and these bits were made with one of these little bits, and you could make your bubbles in all different colours. You can make it completely however you like. So I'm going to talk you through using just 3 colours. Okay, so let's stop me waffling and let's get started. Okay, so for our first row, this is all going to be done in rows today. So choose your first colour for your centre, and then what I've done is for my next colour that I'm going to do the bobble stitching, I've made my slip knot ready, so that's all ready to go when I'm in the middle of this first piece. Okay, so what you're going to do is do your slip knot, and you're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice and simple. And then in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to do single crochet all the way to the end, and you will have 9 single crochets altogether. And I'll see you back in a moment. Okay, so 9 single crochets later, you'll have this little cute thing, and it will want to curl and twist, but don't worry about that. So now you're going to do a chain 1. That doesn't count for anything, just to allow you your height for turning. So then turn your work over, and you're going to work straight into this first single crochet here, and you're going to do 9 single crochets back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm working this row with you just to show you, I've shown you before, but if you haven't seen it before, your last stitch can be a bit tricky because you've got this kind of funny rounded bit here. So this is why count your stitches is quite important. So just find this first, if you turn it over actually, you can see those 2 bars a bit more easily. So you've got 1, 2 bars. So go under those 2 bars, there we go, and that's your final stitch. So there you go, you can see that's the end of your row now. So it's helpful to just count your stitches as you work along so that you don't miss that last stitch at the end there. So then chain 1 and turn your work. So that was row 2, and now you're going to do 2 more rows exactly the same. So work 9 single crochets along, and then chain 1 and turn and work 9 single crochets back across, and I will see you 2 rows later. Okay, so I've just finished my 4th row there, so you've got this cute little swatch working up here. Okay, so this is where you need your next colour ready. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now this is where it gets interesting. We do our bobbly stitch. So grab your new colour and pop your slip knot onto your hook, and just ignore this first loop. So I'm going to talk about the colour I've got here, so ignore this pink loop. Okay, so just ignore this pink loop here. Pop your hook into your next stitch and join this colour with a slip stitch. Okay, so you join this with a slip stitch. Sorry, I apologise if I'm a bit fingers and thumbs, a bit more than usual. I've got really cold fingers today and I'm struggling with my yarn. Okay, so you've now got your new colour in that next stitch, and you're ignoring this original loop. So you're going to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to do your first bubble stitch. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. This is a bit like when we do our cluster stitches and we do like our incomplete double crochets. So do a yarn over and pull through the first 2, and then yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull that loop up to join the rest of the height. Okay, that's the only difference with this as opposed to our cluster stitches that we do sometimes. So yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then do that twice more, and remembering to pull that up every time. So go through, pull that up to the height, yarn over, pull through 2, and you'll end up with 5 of this colour on your hook. So then yarn over, pull through all 5, and then you're left with your new colour and your original loop. So now drop this new colour down, bring your original colour loop, because this was sort of up here and nice and big, so now pull that down to a sort of reasonable normal size loop, and then just hold this one sort of down here a bit so it doesn't go everywhere. Hold that against your work, and then yarn over with your original colour, pull through your the loop from your bobble stitch, and then pull through the loop of your original colour. So you sort of got this going on here. Okay, so you've got your new colour loop, and then you've got your original colour loop, and then your yarn is coming out from here. Okay, and then you are going to just pull that a little bit tighter, come round the back and do a single crochet in this stitch here, the one right next to your bobble, but come from the back and do, just leave this other yarn down there for a moment and do 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. So working to the end of that row, and then just drop that, just pull that loop up, drop that down for a second, and then with this colour just snip that off, and then you are supposed to fasten off this colour, but there really wasn't anywhere to fasten it off. So what I've found is the easiest way is just to do a square knot. Now a square knot is when you have your left and your right, and you put the left over the right, or the right over the left. We're going to say the left over the right, pull that down, don't do it too tightly, but just pull it down, and then the right over the left, and knot that, and then you've got a pretty secure knot there. That doesn't, it's not very big, it's just quite secure there. Okay, and then just leave those 2 tails at the back for dealing with later, and there's your bobbly puff stitch. So you can just round that off a bit if you need to, and you've got your your single crochets going on behind here, so nice and neat. Okay, ready for our next row. Okay, so rows 6 to 8 are going to be exactly the same as before, just plain single crochet rows, but I'll just take you through this one as how we work on the back of here. And we will be doing these bobble stitches in exactly the same way every time that we do a bobble. So I will show you it once more on another piece that we do. Anyway, chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to do your 9 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be next to your bobble, might be a bit bigger than your other stitches. That's 4. Your 5th one will be behind your bobble, so just work behind there. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. And then chain 1, just stretch this out occasionally, and then so chain 1, turn your work, and now do 2 more rows of single crochets, and I will see you back for the last row. Okay, now I told you to do 2 more rows, but actually you need to do 1 final row, and then instead of doing a chain 1 for the next row, you are going to fasten off this colour. So do 1 more row back here and then fasten this colour off. Okay, so this is where we are going to start working with the colour that we did our first bobble in. So grab that colour, and also you're going to be working with your 3rd colour for your bobbles. So I've got my 3rd colour here, I've got my light pink, and I've got my slip stitch ready for my bobbles. So this is where we're going to start making the triangles. We're going to do a triangle on each side, which will make it into a square. So join your new colour in this first stitch at the top of your last row. So into your very first stitch, make sure you're not going into the turning chain, but into your first stitch. Just join there with a slip stitch, and then we will continue. Oops, having yarn problems. Okay, sorted my yarn out now. Now there will be lots of tails and ends of your yarn in this square, so I do suggest that you try and work some of your tails in where possible. It will really help you in the end, because for each bobble you're going to have 2 ends for a start, so help yourself out and start to work over your ends. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in this first stitch where we joined our colour. So 1, 2 single crochets. Excuse me. And then you're going to do a single crochet in the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 single crochets in the last stitch. So 2 single crochets in this last stitch. So you'll now have 11 single crochets along here, and you're going to chain 1 and turn your work over, and then you're going to do a single crochet 2 together, and you're going to be doing this a lot. So single crochet 2 together is basically we go into the first stitch, so ignore this chain, go into your first stitch and pull through, and then go into your second stitch and pull through, and then you've got 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that leaves you 1 stitch on top. So you're decreasing, and this is how we make the triangle, because each row we're going to be bringing 2 stitches in, so it's going to bring it upwards and just decrease every row, and you'll see that triangle forming. So now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to do that single crochet 2 together on these next 2 stitches, these last 2 stitches. So yarn over, pull through, and then this last one might be a bit tricky to get under those 2 bars, but just have a look from over the top and get those 2 bars there, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So you can't see it very well now, but on the next row you will. So next row you're going to chain 1 and turn, and then you're going to do a single crochet 2 together again. So into the top of this first stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through all 3 loops, and you've made those 2 stitches into 1. And then you're going to single crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do a bobble stitch. So I'll show you how to do that when I get my yarn all out of the way. So we're going to do a bobble stitch now. So grab your new colour, pop your slip knot on your hook, and then just leave this working yarn at the back, go into your next stitch and do a slip stitch to join that colour in. There we go. Just ignore this yellow on the hook at the moment, and then you're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. Just hold your finger on this other loop to keep it out of the way if it's bothering you, and then you're going to do your 4 partial double crochets with pulling up a loop each time. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, pull this loop up, yarn over, pull through. This is 3rd time and 4th time. So you will end up with 5 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. There's a strand there, pull through all 5, and then this is when you drop this working colour here down, bring up your original colour, pull that loop a bit tighter on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through your bobble colour and pull through your original stitch. There we go. Make sure this bobble colour is at the back, and then bring your hook round from the back into the next stitch and do a single crochet, and you're going to do another single crochet, and then you're going to do your last 2 stitches, you're going to do a single crochet 2 together. So there we go, single crochet 2 together. So you can see now your sides are just starting to lean in, and it will come up to a nice point. So we are ready for our next row. So chain 1 and turn, then you're going to do a single crochet 2 together, 1, 2, and then you're going to single crochet in the next 3, 1, oops, the second one will be behind this bobble, so work behind there, so that's 2, and then 3, and then a single crochet 2 together. There we go, and pull through, chain 1 and turn, you're going to do a single crochet 2 together, single crochet in the next stitch, and a single crochet 2 together, and that leaves you with 3 stitches. Then you're going to do a chain 1 and turn, and then you're going to do a single crochet 3 together. So all 3 of these you're going to go in, pull through, you have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through all 3, she says. Let's should we try that again? So 1, 2 and 3, yarn over and pull through all 4, and that you can see from the back especially, your triangle has been formed. It looks a bit like a house with a roof. So you are going to fasten off. So fasten off that colour, and then I will show you how to start this triangle on the next side. And I've just realised we didn't fasten off this bobble, so just when you fastened off this like yellow, then just grab your scissors and your bobble colour, just snip off, and then do your square knot as we did before. So one side, so I'm going to go left over right, pull down, and then right over left, and there's your knot done. Okay, so there we go, that's what we've got so far, a bit like a little house. So for your next side, you will you're going to do this same triangle on all 4 sides. So get your slip knot ready with your bobble colour as before, get your triangle colour ready, and we'll get going. Okay, so we are basically going to repeat what we've just done, but on the next side. Now this side doesn't have actual stitches, so just join into this first sort of row at the top here with a slip stitch. Okay, so when you've got your slip stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochets in this first space stitch row here, so 2 single crochets, and then you're going to do 2 single crochets in this very last space down here, but then you want to make 7 single crochets evenly spaced. So what I do is think like 1 in the middle and then 3 on each side. So just work down doing your 7 single crochets along, and then 2 in your last space. Okay, so you will have 11 stitches along this side. Just evenly space them however you can. And then you are going to do exactly the same as you did on this triangle. So if you rewind about 7 minutes to where I said about doing your first single crochet 2 together, and then follow that from there. So this is your first row that you did along here, and then follow it from the rest until you get to the top where I say to fasten off, and then you'll need to rewind and follow from joining along this side, and then you will do it along this side, and then when you've done all 3 sides, I will see you back. Just one quick reminder that when you are working down your side and joining in your next side, that you are going to go into the same place that you finished off your last row. So if you can see here, they're in like a 90-degree angle there, so make sure you go in that same space. Okay, so when you've done all 4 triangles, it should look a bit like this. How cute is that? Really cute, and how fun to work up. Just puff these out if you need to. So if you've worked over your ends, which I suggested, you should just have 1 tail from each of your triangles, and then 2 tails from each of your bobbles. If you didn't work over any of your ends, then you're going to have quite a lot more going on than that. So yeah. So it's time to make this bigger, and we're going to do triangles again, but we're going to be making it across each side here. So we're going to come across, and then that's going to make our square in the other way. So we're going to need for this round the colour that we just did for the bubbles. So in my case it's this pink, so grab that. And the other colour you'll need is the colour that you started your first little square with. That would be your bobble colour. So grab those and we'll get started. Okay, so you've got your colour that you did your previous bobbles with, and you've got your colour from your square to use as your bubbles. I've got a slightly different colour because I'm trying to use up my little bits and bobs of yarn, and I've got a slip knot on there ready to do my first bobble. So what you're going to do, I've already done it, is have your work on the right side and join into one of your corner stitches. So obviously these are your corners now, so the top of one of your triangles, just join in to the top of one of your triangles with a slip stitch, and then do a single crochet in that stitch. And then what you're going to do is do 11 single crochets all the way along this side. So as I said to you when you were trying to work out where to put your stitches for your sides on here, I would count this as the middle. Obviously it is the middle. So I would think to do 5 on each half of that, and then 1 in the middle, which makes 11. So I'm just going to show you what I do, because these middles between your two triangles are separated. If you do a single crochet down here, it will be lower than the others. So I'm just going to do 5 single crochets along here, and then I'll show you what I do there. Okay, so I've done my 5 stitches along here, and then what I do here is I try and go under one loop of one side, and then the other side try and catch a loop. From here, and might not be too easy. You can use your hook to sort of prise it up if you need to. Try and go under I told you it wasn't easy. Just try and go under a loop from this side, whichever one works best, she says, and then she can't do it. Oh dear. I have my husband sitting here with headphones on watching some Netflix, and he's randomly laughing, which is making me laugh too, and trying not to laugh while I'm filming. So here we go. Right, there we go. Right, back on track. So go through those 2 and then do your single crochet through there, and that just brings it up to the height of the rest. So there you go. 5 more single crochets along here, and then we'll go into this next corner stitch. Okay, so when you get to your next corner, you are going to do 3 single crochets. So just find where that stitch is for your corner and do 3 single crochets in there. Okay, so when you've done your 11 stitches long, so you joined with just 1 single crochet here, and then you've done 11 along the side and then 3 in the corner. So then what you're going to do is come along this side and do another 11. Don't forget this little dip part here. I mean, if you so just try and join over that that part there. So do 11 along and then 3 in your corner, turn it around, 11 along here and 3 in your corner, and then turn it around, 11 along, and then 2 in this final space here, because you've already got 1, and then join with a slip stitch into your original single crochet. And I will don't fasten off though, and I'll see you back around here when you've done all of those single crochets. Okay, so this is what we've got going on so far. We've got a nice border of our new colour. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make our first triangle. Our first triangle, and then what you're going to do is you're going to then make each triangle individually, like we did for these yellow ones here. Okay, so do a chain 1 and turn your work, and then you are going to use your middle stitch, which will be the one you've just come out of, your middle corner stitch, and your next one, and you are going to do a single crochet 2 together. So go into that stitch that you just turned from. It might be a bit tricky, but go into there, pull up, go into the next one. Like I said, it might be a bit tricky to see these stitches. So go into the next one, pull up, and then pull through both stitches. And then you are going to single crochet along the next 11 stitches, so the ones that you created in the last round, And then when you get to your next corner, you're going to use your first and middle stitch and do a single crochet 2 together, and then I'll meet you back when you've done that. Okay, so we've done that, and then we're going to do a chain 1 and turn. This is basically going to just be a larger version of these smaller triangles. So now you are going to do a single crochet 2 together. Crochet the next 9 stitches and then a single crochet 2 together. Okay, so you should have 11 stitches all together now. You've got your single crochet 2 together at each end and then 9 in the middle. So now again, decreasing, we are going to do a single crochet to go chain 1, sorry, and turn, and then you're going to do single crochet 2 together, single crochet 7, and then a single crochet 2 together. Okay, so 2, then 7, and then a 2. Okay, chain 1 and turn, and this is where we're going to be doing our bobble stitch. So we're going to do single crochet 2 together. How did you guess? And then 2 single crochets, and then it's time for your bobble stitch. So grab your slip knot, pop that on, and you know how to do your bobble stitches by now, so join that into your next stitch, and then you're going to do 2 single crochets and a single crochet 2 together. So I'll see you at the end of this row. Okay, so when you've completed that row with your bobble, you will chain 1 and turn, and then you are going to do your decreasing as before. So I'm making a triangle, so single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet 3, and then 2 together, and that will be 5 single crochets on that row. Okay, so when you finish that row, you're going to do a chain 1 and turn, do a single crochet 2 together, and 1 single crochet, and then single crochet 2 together. And then on your next row, it will be a chain 1 and your single crochet 3 together, and that will be the end of your triangle. But don't fasten off, so get to the end of your triangle, and then we'll join back. Okay, so when you've finished that triangle, you will have something a bit like this going on. How cute is that? It's yeah, love it, really cute. And what colours you use makes a big difference as well. So you have finished on the wrong side, and what you're going to do is, let me just find the right place in my pattern. Okay, so I had kind of lost my place on my pattern. So right, we're back now. So we're on the wrong side, and what we're going to do is make 7 evenly placed single crochets along this side of our triangle. Okay, so we're here at the moment at the top here. We're going to make 7 down here evenly placed, and then we're going to do some more down here. So work 7 down until you get to this join here, where this join right here. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, then when you get to here, you've got your last stitch that sort of joins in line with this row above your previous colour. So in these 2 stitches, you're going to do a double crochet 2 together, and sorry, single crochet 2 together. We've suddenly jumped to doing double crochets. How bizarre. And then you're going to do 11 single crochets along here, and a single crochet 2 together using your first 2 corner stitches down here. Okay, and that will be the start of your next triangle. So I'll meet you back once you've done your 11 and then a single crochet 2 together. Okay, when you've done that, so you've got your first single crochet 2 together down there, then what you need to do is, if you remember how you made this first triangle, then by all means go ahead, or if you've got the pattern from the group, by all means go ahead and make this next triangle. If not, then just rewind the video a few minutes until you are on this triangle, and then obviously we've done our first row, so your next row will start with a single crochet 2 together and making 9 stitches, I believe. So yeah, so either follow the pattern if you've got it, or rewind the video a few minutes and follow it back. And what you're going to do is make your next triangle, so we finished on the wrong side, so you'll be chaining 1 and turning, making your next triangle, and then when you finish that, it will come back to this part that we're on right now, and you will follow that down, doing your you know, when we did our even stitches down the side here and then along here, and starting your next triangle, and then you'll do the same for the next triangle. And when you've finished your 4th triangle, don't fasten off, we'll I think there's a final round to do, so I'll see you back after your last triangle. Okay, so how are you doing? This is such a cute square, but it does take a little while, doesn't it? It's these single crochets, isn't it? The ones that are single crochets tend to take a while, so that's just a heads up. If ever you look at a pattern, the single crochet ones will take a while. Anyway, it's a fun square and it's really cute. I love it. And again, I've tried to work in most of my ends and just have my bobble ends to sew in. So this is pretty much the end of the pattern. All that's left to do is give it a final border of single crochets, just to neaten off where all these join, neaten off all these edges, and these final edges were on the wrong side, so it will just finish it off nicely. So what you're going to do is 3 single crochets in your corner stitches. So your corner stitch will be your point of your triangle, okay? So each triangle point is your corner. So you're going to do 3 single crochets in there. So you have finished in a corner here. So do 3 single crochets on here, and you want to be doing this on the right side so that your nice edge is facing the right side. So 3 single crochets in here, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch along. Now remember, we went along our sides and we did these single crochets, so do 1 single crochet in every stitch along, and then 3 single crochets in your corner and 1 single crochet in every stitch down sides, and continue that all the way around until you get back to the beginning, and then do a slip stitch in your last single crochet. Now I think this video is probably quite long already, so I am not going to do my single crochet right now, but hopefully I'll have it on the end of the video to show you. So finish that up, and then you'll have your gorgeous puff dog square, and just all your ends to sew in. So just, you know, put the TV on, make a cup of tea and sew in your ends. So if you found this video useful and helpful, please click that like button and give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button and you'll be notified when new videos go up. And any comments or questions, leave them below. And we'd love to see your photos in the group. So if you haven't joined already, then the link for the group is in that description box below as well. So until next time, guys, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.